We're live on air and always streaming on CBS News Miami with the CBS News app. Good evening. I'm Lauren Pastrana.
And I'm Carly Barnett in for Elliot Rodriguez. CBS 4 News at 5 starts right now.
This is CBS 4 News at 5.
And now that the FDA has given the green light, the CDC has to give its stamp of approval.
Approval would make the vaccine available to 20 million babies and young children. CBS 4's Peter Dench has been following the developments in this hot button issue in the state. He joins us now with the latest. Peter.
Well, Carly and Lauren, there is indeed confusion.
Let's turn now to the weather. This is a live look from our Lauderdale by the Sea camera. Might look like the Keys there. Instead, hey, both beautiful views. Now, we saw a little bit of rain this morning, but it did dry out, and it was hot once again. But what does the weekend have in store for us? Let's send it over to Cindy Pressler with that answer. Hey, Cindy.
It is a hot one again.
Cindy, thank you. Now at 5, it's the major news of the week. For the first time, Miami will host FIFA World Cup matches.
Several matches in 2026 will be played at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, and that's where CBS 4's Ashley Dyer is tonight. Ashley, it's exciting news that took years of planning, right?
It took quite some time.
New at 5, the state of Florida is moving forward with a proposal that would deny Medicaid coverage for transgender treatments, including puberty-blocking medication and hormone therapy. The State Agency for Healthcare Administration published the proposed rule and set a July 8th hearing on the issue. National and state legal and LGBTQ advocacy groups have vowed to fight the proposal. Meantime, preparations are underway for this weekend's Pride Parade in Wilton Manors. Tens of thousands of people usually attend, and CBS 4's Ted Scouten is in Wilton Manors with more on everything expected, Ted.
Yeah, Carly, what we can expect here in Wilton.
Today marks 50 years since the break-in that started the Watergate scandal. It has parallels to the current January 6th hearings taking place on Capitol Hill. Both chapters in U.S. history center on an alleged abuse of presidential power and American democracy put to the test. Reporter Karen Kafa gives us a look.
As Washington hosts a
Will it be a good weekend to go swimming? Nice to cool off, probably. Let's check in with CBS 4 meteorologist Cindy Pressler.
Find a spot where you can cool off.
We have breaking news now out of Hallandale Beach. Dozens of residents at an apartment building called Hemispheres forced to evacuate due to safety concerns. It began with a fire this morning after a mechanical failure, but that caused the building's safety features, water and AC, to not work. The Emergency Operations Center and the Red Cross are helping people find a place to go. It's unclear at this point how long they could be displaced.
He'll be one of just 10 high school seniors from across the country competing in the Braille Challenge next week.
He's got a lot of skills.
Yes, he certainly
Very busy
does.
kid.
Beautiful music and great at reading as well.
Wonderful.
Truly incredible.
Still ahead on CBS 4 News at 5, how would you like to save 25 cents a gallon on gas? I would. We'll tell you who's eligible to take advantage of the discount next. Some good news for those struggling with high gas prices, but you have to have T-Mobile. The company announced it's offering some help to pay for gas this summer. The wireless carrier is taking 25 cents a gallon off for its customers at Shell stations. Good news for people hitting the roads for vacation, as today's national average for gas is exactly $5. That's according to AAA. T-Mobile also has perks for those making a getaway by plane. It's handing out free streaming and connectivity on flights. Those offers are scheduled to start June 21st.
This is CBS 4 News at 5:30.
2 family members charged with hate crimes faced a judge today. They're accused of beating a gay man blind. The case centers around a relationship between Ole Makarenko and his alleged ex-boyfriend, who's the victim in this case.
CBS 4's Keith Jones was in court with more on what happened.
This whole family could be at.
Now at 5:30, the Michigan Supreme Court rejected a final appeal from sports doctor Larry Nassar. He was sentenced to decades in prison for sexually assaulting gymnasts, including Olympic gold medalists. Nassar says he was treated unfairly in 2018 and deserved a new hearing based on comments by the judge, who called him a monster and said she signed his death warrant by giving him a 40-year sentence. Now at 5:30, stock ended another bumpy day, mostly higher on Wall Street, but still wound up with their biggest weekly losses since March 2020. The Dow fell 38 points, staying below 30,000. However, the Nasdaq gained 152 points and the S&P 500 gained 8 points. Well, the market has been volatile this week over the Federal Reserve's decision to raise interest rates to try to get inflation under control.
We're joined now by Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan. Margaret, thanks so much for being with us. This is the largest one-time hike since 1994. So what do the experts tell you this means for people's wallets?
Well, this is a 3/4 percentage point hike.
Margaret, pivoting here to the COVID vaccines. Today, the FDA authorized vaccines for children as young as 6 months old. Now, here in Florida, we are the only state not to pre-order the vaccine. So what would you say is the next step in getting it to millions of young children?
Well, you're also the only state that I have seen where the Department of Health is actively discouraging vaccinating children.
And still ahead on CBS 4 News at 5:30, the extreme heat putting our pets in peril. Tonight, tips on what you can do to protect your furry friends and what our CBS 4 reporters saw while covering this story next. It's been a sizzling week across South Florida with feels-like temperatures at times climbing into the triple digits. And while we've been feeling the heat, so have our pets. If precautions aren't taken, pets could get hurt, even have heat stroke.
CBS 4's Trish Kostakis shows us the dangers of high heat and ways to keep your pet safe.
Hot summer days are upon us.
The FDA is visiting Abbott's Michigan baby formula plant today after severe storms and flooding forced the factory to shut down. It had just resumed operations less than 2 weeks ago after a contamination issue stopped production for months, contributing to the nationwide formula shortage. The White House says the FDA's visit to the facility is to ensure that when Abbott is ready, it can start to produce safe and quality formula. We'll call this the ultimate Disney dream vacation, but it's going to cost a pretty penny. Disney announced Disney parks around the world. That's a chance to visit all 12 Disney theme parks on a 24-day adventure. According to the website, a private jet will carry 75 people from California to Tokyo to Shanghai, Hong Kong, India, Cairo, Paris, and finally Orlando. Phew, so how much for a ticket? It starts at $110,000 per person. Bookings for the trip for next July will start later this month. That might be one I have to miss.
Quite an adventure. 24 days. Who gets that many days off in a row?
That's
what I want to know.
That's a jam-packed trip right there.
That's quite a month. Wow. Still ahead, what is it they say about too many cooks in the kitchen? 2 chefs are better than 1 at Hato in Wynwood.
It is time for Taste of the Town. The word unique best describes Hato in Wynwood. And the first ever Florida Michelin star guide just got recognized as a restaurant visit in Miami.
2 well-known chefs opened the restaurant last November, creating a one-of-a-kind dish that have foodies in awe. That includes CBS 4's Lisa Petrillo, who takes us inside for a taste.
Just have to air this at dinner time,
yes.
don't we? It always makes me so hungry.
Looks so good. We're live on air and always streaming on CBS News Miami with the CBS News app. Good evening. I'm Lauren Pastrana.
And I'm Carly Barnett in for Elliot Rodriguez. Florida is the only state not pre-ordering those vaccines, but that doesn't mean parents can't get their young children vaccinated.
CBS 4's Peter Dench joins us now live in Miami with the latest tonight. Peter?
Well, Lauren and Carly.
Now at 6, it's the hot topic of the week. Miami has been chosen as a host city for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We are one of 11 sites here in the United States, and the event is expected to bring a big boost to the economy. CBS 4's Ashley Dyer is live in Miami Gardens tonight. So, Ashley, how many people can we expect in town for this? Ashley, thank you. We are getting our first look at the man police say led them on a high-speed cross-county chase yesterday. We brought it to you as breaking news. 30-year-old Alexander Geslian is now facing several charges, including carjacking and assault on a law enforcement officer. The chase happened yesterday morning and began in Broward County following a reported armed carjacking. The chase spilled over into Miami-Dade County, where the driver got out in Opa-locka, ran a short distance before police caught him next to a moving train.
CBS 4 News.
Oh, to be a dog relaxing in a fountain. Joan, thank you. A crash caught on camera. We are now seeing dash camera footage of the moment a driver rammed into the back of an FHP cruiser on I-95 in Fort Lauderdale. This happened Tuesday morning. The trooper was in his cruiser working a construction zone and had his lights flashing at the time of the collision. 25-year-old Tate Alexander Turner is the man police say was behind the wheel. He allegedly told investigators that he did it on purpose because he wanted to be taken to jail. The trooper sustained minor injuries. He is expected to recover.
My jaw dropped.
Yeah, I was like, wait, don't do that. We did not expect the backflip, that's for sure.
Impressive.
CBS 4 News at 6. We'll be right back.
And finally tonight, a lunchtime launch at Kennedy Space Center today. The SpaceX Falcon 9 launched just after 12, carrying another batch of satellites into orbit.
Today's launch kicks off a busy weekend for SpaceX with 2 more Falcon 9 flights scheduled for tomorrow and Sunday from California and then back to Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. With today's launch, SpaceX will have launched more than 2,700 Starlink internet satellites.
They're making this look routine.
I know.
They've got it down.
Just another day.
That does it for CBS 4 News at 6, but the news does not stop.
The CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell is next.
We're back in a half hour with CBS 4 News at 7. We'll see you then.